What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be talking about a horror comedy, spoiler-free review of Two Heads Creek. So this week, a movie just came out, although I think it might have gotten out in Australia a little bit sooner, or maybe even in Britain, because this is a British-Australian sort of film, even though it was filmed in Queensland. The story is about a timid butcher brother and his sister, who is sort of a drama queen and a sarcastic fun ride. They go to Australia to find their long-lost mother because they find out that they are adopted. And when they do, they find out a few meaty secrets. Now, this movie is directed by Jesse O'Brien, and he is not only a director, but he also does special effects, and it looks pretty cool. He did this movie called Alien Arrival, also known as Arrowhead, but I think they had to change it probably because of the drink called Arrowhead. So the name got changed, I think, so you might be able to find it either which way. But as far as Two Heads Creek is, I think it's a fun movie with a kind of an over-the-top concept that's fully aware of its silliness and behavior and just kind of like shoots for the fence with its weirdness. In a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me of the movie Body Melt. If you've ever seen that movie, it's pretty out there and it deals with a bunch of outback, interesting characters just like this movie does, and it's hard not to make some sort of comparisons there, although I might have to give the win to Body Melt over this one just by a little bit, especially because this movie, while it does have some funny moments in the beginning, it does take a little while to kind of rip the band-aid off and just kind of go for it, which I think is fine because it's trying to set the atmosphere and the pace in this sort of ridiculous, over-characterized world that they've created. Speaking of characters, there are some pretty good characters in here, and there's even a song and dance number, which is probably one of my favorite things about this movie, and its crescendo into obscene, funny madness and gore. Which, by the way, the movie does have gore. It's not all over the place, but when it does go all over the place. It is an indie film, so it really relies on the characters, which are pretty decent in this movie, to kind of push the story and the narrative and also some of the moments that happen in this movie. I can guarantee you they probably had a really good time making this film. With that said, unfortunately, some of the humor kind of fell flat for me. They do have some moments and jokes that are very Australian, and they do have some jokes that deal with pop culture, and some of them that are actually just there to kind of space it out. While I was laughing a few times all the way up till about the third act, it of course becomes a little desensitizing, like a lot of horror films that do comedy get. You get a little desensitized either to the gore or to the jokes that are just kind of rapid, and some of them don't land for me personally. If I had to be a little bit more critical on this film, I would say that it probably would have benefited from a little bit more gore and practical effects, even though it does have it in there, and when it does go there, it goes pretty wild. And I would have sped up the beginning just a little bit, but it is still a fun film, and I don't want to take away from it. I don't think that should prevent you from necessarily checking it out, because I had friends who actually really enjoyed the film more than I did. You know, maybe that humor and the jokes will vary with different people. So for me, I'd say it's above average on the comedy horror spectrum. It's nice to see for sure because I like comedy horror. That's one of my favorite subgenres of horror because I love things like Dead Alive and, you know, mixing the gore and the comedy together. But it did fall a little flat for me. It's just above average. I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10, meaning you could enjoy it more than me and you might not. I would definitely watch this again at some point in time, although it wouldn't be in my yearly rotation. I'm definitely going to be checking out that Alien Arrival movie because I'm curious to see about it. Seems like it's a little bit more serious, so I'm kind of curious to see maybe the comedy route is better or maybe the serious route, sci-fi way, is a little bit better. But I think there is some talent here, and I think it varies on what you may like, so maybe worth a watch. But what did you guys think? Did you enjoy this film? Have you seen this film? Have you seen any of his other shorts or films. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If this is your first time here, please hit the like and subscribe button and let me know your thoughts on this movie. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me, and as always, long live the void.